What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and these are the 20 plus best features of the Nokia 5.1 Plus along with some important tips and tricks. Now first I'll be covering the best features, after that I'll be talking about the tips and tricks. So if you're bored anywhere, just skip ahead, but make sure you check out the tips and tricks section for sure. Now with that said, the first best feature about this phone would be the display. Now this phone packs a 5.8-inch IPS display with HD plus resolution in the new 19.5:9 aspect ratio with a display notch protected by a 2.5D curved glass. Now yes, this phone just has HD plus resolution, but the picture quality of this display is really good. Even the viewing angles and sunlight legibility are pretty good. Now the next best feature about this phone would be the performance. Now this phone packs a MediaTek Helio P60 processor seen in phones like Oppo F7, Oppo F9 Pro, even the Realme 1. Now I never really imagined Nokia to give us this processor at this price range. For some more specs, it's an octa-core processor with 4 Cortex-A73 cores clocked at 1.8 GHz and 4 Cortex-A53 cores clocked at 1.8 GHz. It also has Mali G72 MP3 GPU with 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage. This processor is also built using the 12nm architecture, so it is also very power efficient. Now the next best thing about this phone would definitely be the cameras. Now this phone sports a dual camera setup on the rear with a 13MP primary camera with f2.0 aperture and a 5MP secondary camera used for depth sensing and taking those bokeh shots. On the front, it is an 8MP camera with f2.2 aperture and 80.4° field of view. Now I really didn't compare this phone with other phones in the same price segment, but it does take some pretty good pictures. Images from the rear camera have good color production, good sharpness, and even the focusing speeds are good. Even selfies look pretty good. These are the sample pictures. Now the next best feature or my favorite feature about this phone would be the entire design and build. Now just like the Nokia 6.1 Plus, even this phone has a glass build sandwiched in an aluminum frame. It has a 2.5D curved glass on the front and back with a thickness of 8mm and weighs 160 grams. Now with a glass build, yes, it's a fingerprint magnet and it is quite slippery, but it simply fits perfectly in the hand and it just feels amazing to hold. I have used other phones with a glass build like the Honor 9 Lite, Honor 9N, even the Vivo Y83 or even the Oppo A3s. But compared to all those phones, this phone actually feels pretty good to hold single-handedly, and we can also use this phone single-handedly because of the new 19:9 aspect ratio. Now the next best thing about this phone would be dual 4G and dual VoLTE. Now this is a SIM card tray and this phone definitely supports dual 4G along with dual VoLTE, so you can use 2 GeoSIMs or use 2 SIMs in 4G network, and this phone also supports native video calling. I just wish it had a dedicated SD card slot as well. Then it would have been just perfect. Now the next best thing about this phone would be electronic image stabilization. Now there are very few phones in this price segment which offer electronic image stabilization for video recording, and Nokia is one of them. Now this is a sample footage. It looks pretty stable, pretty usable, but for some reason footage quality looks kinda bad. It's very soft and it's trying to defocus again and again, but maybe with a future update it will improve. Now one odd thing with this phone is we can record video at 1080p using the rear camera, but for some reason we can only record video at 720p using the front camera. But once again, with a future update, we might be able to record at 1080p resolution even by using the front facing camera. Next, it has a feature called Live Bouquet Mode, which is nothing but portrait mode for the rear cameras. Now unlike other phones, you can change the amount of blur effect we want before taking a picture, and even after taking a picture, we can change the amount of blur effect and even the focus point, which is something very few phones offer. Next, it has Bouquet Mode for selfies, which is once again another fancy name for portrait selfies. Next, it has a feature called Bokeh, where we can take pictures using the both front and rear cameras at the same time. Now in that, first we have the dual mode, where both pictures get equal size and we get 2 perfect squares. Next, it has PIP mode, where images from one camera are much smaller than the other camera. Next, it has a lot of fun filters. Now the first one is the regular filters for your face, where you can simply add these filters to your face and take pictures and even record it as a video. Next, it has an Emoji kind of feature, where an animated character mimics your face. Right now it is still in development phase, so it's not very accurate and not that interesting either. Next we have studio lighting effects, where we can adjust the lighting effect on our face. Right now it only works for selfies. Next it has slow motion video recording and time lapse. Now the next best feature about this phone would be the Android One program. Now just like most of the Nokia phones launched these days, even this phone is part of Android One program, so it will get monthly security and software updates at least for the next 2 years. So that's a really good thing. Next it has a feature called Turn Over to Reject Calls. Now just like the name suggests, once you enable this feature, you can simply turn over the phone to reject a call. Next it has Mute on Pickup. Now once you enable this feature, whenever you pick up your phone while it is ringing, ringtone will stop or get muted automatically. I personally like this feature a lot. Next we have a fingerprint gesture to pull down the notification bar. Now once you enable this toggle, you can simply swipe down or up on the fingerprint scanner to pull down the notification bar and send it back up. I really love this feature and I wish every other phone, especially Xiaomi phones, have this feature as well. Next it has Jump to Camera. Now once you enable this toggle, you can quickly open the camera application from anywhere by simply pressing the power button twice. It literally works everywhere. Whether you're gaming or if your phone is locked or you're on a lock screen, simply press the power button twice and it will open the camera instantly. Next we have Lift to Check Phone. Now once you enable this toggle, every time you lift your phone, you will see the time, notifications and other information. Next we have Tap to Wake. Now this phone also has the double tap to wake feature. Just enable the toggle to activate it, and when your phone is locked, you can simply double tap the screen to wake it up. Next it has a feature called Nightlight. Now according to a research, using our phones at night can affect our sleep because of the blue light emitted by the display. To prevent that, most of the phones come with a similar feature called Nightlight. Now once you enable this feature, it puts a warm tint on the screen and filters all the blue light. Now from this settings page, you can change the intensity of the tint and even schedule it to turn on and turn off automatically at a specific time or at sunrise and sunset. Now the final feature on this phone is the Background Activity Manager. Now this feature stops applications from running in the background. Now you can simply decide to kill all the applications or simply blacklist a few applications which you don't want to run in the background. Doing this definitely improves the battery life of your phone, but kinda ruins your user experience. For example, if you blacklist apps like WhatsApp, you might not receive messages immediately. So guys, those were the best features. Now I'll show you some important tips and tricks. First, I'll show you how to use split screen mode. Now let's say you have opened any application. If you want to use two applications at the same time, you can press and hold this recent apps button over here and then select the secondary application from this list over here, or else you can go to the home screen and then select the application from here as well. Now another way to do it is go to the recent apps page, touch and hold any application and then drag it to the top to open that application in a split screen mode. Now this is a super convenient feature, but still there are applications that do not support split screen mode. So to fix that or to make all applications support split screen mode, this is what you need to do. First go to settings and then go to system, that's at the bottom. Now select about phone. Now scroll down and click on build number 7 times. Once you do that, developer options will be enabled. Now go back, then select developer options. Now scroll all the way to the bottom and then enable force activities to be resizable. Now once you do that and restart the phone, you will be able to use all applications in split screen mode. Next, I'll show you the Google Lens feature in the camera application. Now right out of the box, we don't get this feature, but once you update your phone to the latest version, I don't know the version number, but somewhere down the road we get this new feature. So to use Google Lens, you need to simply click this button over here. Now Google will scan whatever it sees on the camera and then try to find it on the web. It's a super convenient feature, but it is still in beta and doesn't work properly. So I'll just leave it at that. Next, I'll show you how to set up Face Unlock on this phone. Now this phone is running pure stock Android, so it doesn't offer you Face Unlock feature, but Face Unlock has been on Android for a very long time. So if you want to use that, you can use Google's Trusted Face feature and it is working quite well. So to set it up, go to settings, security settings, then select Smart Lock, enter your password, just select Trusted Face, now then just click next and next and next and register your face. And this is it. Now this is Google's Trusted Face, and unlike Face Unlock, you have to manually swipe up the lock screen to unlock the phone. So here's a quick demo. Now the phone is locked. Now the phone is able to see me. Now I can simply swipe up to unlock it. Now usually on most phones, especially with stock Android, trusted face works well in good lighting conditions, but in darkness it doesn't work at all. But surprisingly on this phone, for some reason, it is working in even low lighting conditions. So here's a quick example for that as well. Now I've turned off all the lights. So here's the lock screen and it unlocked. Well, there are a few small lights, but it isn't well lit conditions. Anyway, that's Face Unlock or Trusted Face on the Nokia 5.1 Plus. Now this one might get two new additional features. One is to hide this notch. You might find it in the display settings. Well, this phone never had it, but Nokia 6.1 Plus had it right out of the box. But after a future update, for some reason that was removed. So that feature might be added in the future. Next, we can even display the battery percentage on the status bar. Well, sadly we can't do it right now, but we might see that feature in the future as well. To enable that, you need to come to the battery settings. Now I'll show you how to take a screenshot. So to take a screenshot, simply press volume down and power button both at the same time and your phone will take a screenshot. Now this is the only way to take a screenshot on this phone, and there are no gestures, and this phone doesn't support long screenshot either. Next, I'll show you how to change your default launcher, default messaging application, and so on. So for that, go to settings and then select app and notification. From here, select advanced. Now from here, select default apps. So from this place, you can change your default browser, default launcher, default phone dialer, SMS application, and so on. Now finally, for some quick tips, while watching videos on YouTube, you can do a pin gesture to go full screen. Now the display looks a bit more immersive. Now as you can see, on the right side we have these curved edges, while on the left side we have completely flat, sharp edges, and it's not using the entire display. I wish we could do that. Now for another quick tip, in your recent apps page, you get 3 additional options at the top right corner. So the rightmost one is to close the application. Next we have the option to lock the application in memory. So even if you press this clear all button, that application will still be locked. And finally we have this third option to open the current application in a split screen mode. So that's pretty handy and a pretty nice shortcut. So guys, those were the best features and important tips and tricks for your Nokia 5.1 Plus. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you are planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and I'll try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.